Okay, so as you can see in Algorand, in the last 48 hours, we got this huge move on the upside, and I'm going to, in this video, explain to you why I believe this is an extremely bullish sign. I'm also going to tell you what is going to be the invalidation point for our bullish scenario, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a very specific fractal suggesting in Algorand this move up is going to be absolutely magnificent, and maybe from here we are going to have like a 6, potentially even 700% move on the upside. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And if you remember the last time that we talked about Algorand, I believe we were right around here, and I was saying, look, in this area I can identify a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure down, which from my point of view at least is definitely not a good sign. And I said it specifically in that video right in here. For me, it's a bit risky to go long in Algorand, and I do believe that we are going to have a move up, but I don't really care about that move. What really matters is the shape of that move. If we're gonna have a slow and choppy move up, then okay, this is a 5 wave down, correction up, and what's gonna happen after it? Unfortunately, another move on the downside. However, if we are going to have a solid impulsive structure on the upside, like what we are having in this region now, it is going to be a fantastic bullish sign suggesting potentially the bottom is in, and we can continue our bull run starting from the current point. So what happened? Definitely the second scenario, and I still fully stand by what I said. Right in here, for me, there isn't really a solid trading setup, and that doesn't mean that I am selling my Algorand. Absolutely 100% not. I want to be very clear. These prices for me in Algorand are kind of a joke, and I'm just not going to sell my Algorand until we get some unbelievably huge moves on the upside. The point of that video was that in here, because I'm not seeing a solid opportunity, I'm not going to open any kind of long position in this area. Understood? Okay. Now, since we got this move up, and it is actually like a very solid impulse, I think today's video should be mostly about the bullish possibility. Let's just delete this one and go around here. So here's a very important point. I use a lot of Helios waves in my analysis, and if you are a new viewer, you should know, in case that you want to argue the bottom is in right in here, maybe this is like a very important support area, then okay, you must be able to find off of the lowest low a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave impulsive structure on the upside. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. Rules for it are, we should not have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4, and in any kind of impulsive movement, wave 3 should not be the smallest wave. This is a big no-no in Helios waves, and for our sub waves, you know it if you are a regular viewer. 5 up into wave 1, 3, and 5. There we go. And for our corrective movements, for wave 2 and 4, we can have different possibilities. Let's say ABC into 4, and yeah, a WXY structure into wave 2. Understood? Okay. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening and why am I bullish. And by the way, I forgot to tell you this. Usually in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave on the upside, in our impulses into wave 1, 3, and 5, we are going to see an increase in volume. And for our corrections, we are going to see a decrease in volume. Okay, remember this one. This is important. We are going to use it in our analysis. Let's zoom out a bit more and see what is happening. First things first, in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances, this is an unbelievably important resistance from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. Now, if you want to say that this is broken, you need to go on weekly charts and let's just do this, excuse me, see a candle close above here in order for us to be able to say that this is our initial breaking phase, and followed by that, you are going to see a pullback to the broken area, and what's going to happen after it in most cases is a continuation of the move up in order to take this high. And right in here, you can argue that this is indeed a broken resistance, which can then act as a very strong support area. Now let's go on weekly time frame and see what is happening. Let's zoom in more. Okay, so In this region, what are we having? This can definitely be considered as our initial breaking phase, and followed by that, what is this thing? According to the bullish scenario, which seems like at least we are going according to that, we are having just a very simple pullback phase in this area. And what's going to happen next? Probably a continuation of the bull run. So this is an extremely bullish sign in Algorand. Second, in terms of Elios waves, here's the deal. In the previous videos, I was saying maybe this is going to be a correction structure on the upside and not an impulse. And now I'm going to tell you, this is a 5-wave up, this is ABC up, and then in here, instead of a 5-wave, we are going to have potentially either a WXY or maybe an ABC down. I would say preferably, yes, this is actually a WXY in form of a double zigzag, and this is indeed 5-wave up, and followed by that, I still stand by what I said. This is a correction structure down. Now, here is a very important point, and I need you to pay full attention to what I'm about to say right now. I believe a correction structure started in Algorand from this point right in here, and according to our bullish scenario, it may have ended right in here, and it's going to be in form of an ABC running flat. This is going to be our A-leg correction for wave B, which in it we are going to take this side and then another move down into our C-leg. And in this phase, we are not going to take the low of our wave A. Understood? Okay, let's talk about the sub-waves now. For our A-leg, we are going to have an ABC, and then for wave B, we can have either an ABC or maybe a WXY, doesn't really matter. And this is the key. For our C leg, we are going to have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave impulsive structure down. Now let's go on the live chart and see what is happening. So let's do one more. Okay, we said this is an ABC structure down, and I can tell you it's going to be into an A leg. Followed by that, we can say this is an ABC up into our wave B, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave down into our C leg. And let's just, excuse me, delete the waves in here and put our ABC right in this area. Excuse me, there we go. So what do we have right now? From the lowest low down here, about 28 cents, 5-wave up, and then a correction structure down. And okay, according to our bullish possibility, this is a wave 1. This whole move on the downside, this choppy move, is a correction for wave 2. And right now in Algorand, again, this is a very important point. According to the bullish scenario, we are on our way to have a huge wave 3 and 4 and 5. And if this scenario is indeed in play, just in this phase in Algo, I'm expecting a new high, and we are going to take this high right in here for the first target around, let's say, 61.5 cents. So this is going to be now our bullish possibility, and every single scenario should have a very important invalidation point. And for this thing is going to be, probably you know it, taking this low down here about, let's say, 32.5 cents. So as long as we're not taking this low, we can definitely argue that this is indeed a bullish setup and the bottom is in. Take this low, okay, that's going to be a very different story. Now, earlier in the video, if you remember, I told you into our wave 1, 3, and 5, we are going to see an increase in volume. And if I just zoom in a bit more, okay, as you can see in this move up, what is happening? We are seeing volume going up, and how much exactly? Okay, let's go on Twitter. There we go. According to Coin Edition, Algorand's 24-hour trading volume surged by about 130%, with the price at around 45 cents. So this is actually a very bullish sign, in my opinion, suggesting this move up is indeed an impulse and potentially and hopefully not a correction structure. Now, we are getting to the end of our video, and I promise you I'm going to show you a specific fractal suggesting in Algorand we are going to get a massive move up from the current point. And in order to see the structures a bit better, let's go on another chart, maybe from crypto.com. So here's the deal. Right around here, I told you, this to me seems like a corrective movement on the upside and not an impulse. And maybe we're going to get a continuation of the move down, because in here we are having a 5-wave down. Now, did something like this happen before? If you are a regular viewer, you know it. Yes, and it was back down here. And if you remember, I was saying, look, this seems again like an ABC or maybe a WXY up and not an impulse. And because in this phase we took this low, we might continue our move down in order to take the lowest low down here. However, what happened? Definitely not that. And when did I flip bullish? It was right in here when we had this solid impulse and followed by that this correction structure. In this region, I was saying, you know what, probably the bottom in Algorand is in and we can continue our bull run. Now let's just copy the fractal in here and excuse me, where is it? There we go. Let's just measure this thing and put it at the current price action. There we go. Let's just adjust the size. Okay, there we go. So what are we having in this area? ABC up and also in this fractal, a 3-wave movement on the upside, followed by that correction down. In here, also a correction down, another move up, and then a decent move on the downside. And as you can see, in that fractal, also we are having kind of the same situation. However, the subwaves are, trust me, way different. Now, I absolutely 100% hate fractals, okay? The reason for it, I talked about it before, they just do not provide you with a solid target and a stop loss, and they do not tell you when are we going to deviate from them. And sure, they are fantastic for YouTube videos, but for trading, they are really not that great, trust me. But if you believe in fractals, I'm not judging you. I 100% respect your opinion. And if you're a believer, then okay. You cannot ignore that starting from the lowest low down here in Algorand, about 10 cents, we had about a 6x move on the upside. And if we are going to have the same thing, because the fractals are kind of the same, then okay, from here about 30 cents, we are going to have what? A 600% move on the upside, a 6x move. That will give you about a $2 Algorand, which is, well, extremely bullish. But again, I want to be very clear. I'm not really a big fan of fractals, and I do believe that Algorand's charts look fantastic and we can definitely go up and reach to those prices, but it's not going to be because of this specific fractal. However, again, if you like them, fair enough. This could be another magnificent bullish sign for you. So let's have our final conclusion and wrap up today's video. In Algorand, when we were writing here, I was saying we need to be a bit careful and wait until we get a move up, and we need to check out the shape of it. And as you can see, we did get this move, and it is, in my opinion, a solid impulsive structure. Now, what happens after an impulse? Usually a correction structure down, and I'm hoping that after this correction is over, we get another huge move on the upside. And according to the bullish scenario, this can be from here to about this point, 5 up into 1. This whole move down is just a correction for wave 2, and right now we are on our way to complete the subwaves for a huge wave 3 and 4 and 5. And just in this wave 3, I'm expecting Algorand to take the highest high in this region, about 60-61 cents, and go potentially quite a bit more higher than that. So for now, in Algo, everything looks optimistic, but again, I want to be very clear. You shouldn't really be surprised in case we get a move on the downside. This is going to be very normal. And once more, the shape of this move is what really matters. If this is a choppy move, a correction structure, fair enough. This is indeed a brilliant and beautiful bullish setup. And I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in Algo's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time. Goodbye.